This page is the vibrant cover of the May 1990 issue of Beep! Powerful Mega Magazine MegaDrive. It celebrates the magazine going monthly with a lively, cartoony illustration featuring fantastical characters and landscapes. The issue highlights several key features, including a look at cutting-edge technology and considerations for the next generation of game machines, pondering how high-tech will shape the future of gaming. Another prominent article declares the coming era of simulation games, asking what genre will follow the current RPG boom. Games mentioned on the cover include the classic RPG Phantasy Star II, the shooter Darwin 4081, Cyblade, and Whiplash. There's also a special report announcing the appearance of Sega's new handheld machine, the Game Gear. Readers were treated to a special appendix, a catalog and poster of all MegaDrive software available at the time, along with other reader gifts. The artwork captures the energetic spirit of the era and the MegaDrive console itself. This page introduces the new role-playing game, King of RPG. The main title boldly displays the game's name with the tagline, "The legend revives from beyond 1,000 years." Several small screenshots showcase different aspects of the gameplay, including character interactions, battles, and exploration scenes. The page also features a significant challenge campaign or speed clear contest related to the popular game Phantasy Star II. Players were challenged to complete the game quickly and explain the backgrounds of its 4 different endings. The first 100 players to correctly submit their explanation received a Sega arcade Power Stick, shown prominently on the page. Additionally, 200 other participants were selected by lottery to win various merchandise prizes like an original jacket, CD, or telephone card set. The contest required participants to use a form from the Phantasy Star II manual and mail their submission by the deadline of June 30, 1990. This contest directly taps into the ongoing RPG boom mentioned on the previous page. This page unveils the highly anticipated latest entry in the acclaimed Phantasy Star series, Phantasy Star II, Generations of Doom, making its debut on the Sega Mega Drive. The striking artwork features the game's protagonist. Phantasy Star II is highlighted as a groundbreaking multi-scenario, multi-ending RPG, a significant feature that sets it apart and offers a compelling narrative journey. To celebrate its release, a large-scale campaign is underway, centered around a quiz asking players about one of the game's endings. Prizes include a trip to Tokyo Disneyland for 150 winners, paired, and a compact arcade cabinet of the game Blockade for 30 winners. The application involves writing the answer on a postcard, along with personal details and desired prize course. The page also features the Sega Mega Drive console itself, promoting its 16-bit power and listing its price, alongside contact information for Sega Enterprises. This page effectively promotes the new flagship RPG release and the console it runs on, leveraging the game's unique features for an engaging promotional campaign. Notably, the Mega Drive has achieved a significant milestone of 1 million units sold, a fact proudly highlighted. This page features the Sega Mega Drive port of the popular arcade game Atomic Robo-Kid. The dramatic headline proclaims a battle for humanity's survival in a great labyrinth, following a devastating war that annihilated most life. The story involves Atomic Robo-Kid being dispatched by the mother computer to rescue Eve from a swallowed underground shelter. The page showcases the protagonist, a formidable robot, in a dynamic pose firing its weapons. It highlights the game as an enhanced version of the arcade original, promising exhilarating labyrinth shooting action with beautiful graphics and diverse characters. 3 screenshots display the game's detailed environments and enemies. The game is scheduled for release in May for 6,800 yen, published by Trico and originally developed by UPL. This Air Diver strategy guide focuses on strategic gameplay for the Sega Mega Drive. It emphasizes starting missions from Australia for a higher success rate. Key instructions include analyzing enemy distribution on the area selection screen before attacking to understand their strength. The guide stresses efficient weapon use, particularly homing missiles, by understanding that lock-on equals missile launch, effectively. Finally, it teaches players how to master the roll-scissors technique, utilizing the afterburner offensively to chase enemies and defensively to evade attacks. Mastering this maneuver is essential for becoming an ace pilot. The guide promotes the game as a 3D shooting title on sale for 6,800 yen. This page announces the arrival of the moving adventure title, Cyblade, on the Sega Mega Drive. Previously acclaimed as an SF masterpiece and ranked #1 in adventure game best lists on computers, The game features dynamic full-screen animation, diverse graphics with depth, and rich sound. Players navigate using an eye-point cursor for command selection. The plot centers around the protagonists, Keys, confronting a great crisis facing humanity, a mystery hidden within the computer Raccoon, and a strange transformation occurring aboard the spaceship Septimius. The Mega Drive version boasts a substantial 5 MB capacity to fully realize its grand story, and includes a battery backup function. Developed by T&E Soft and published by Sigma, Xioblade was released on April 27, 1990. This page is a call to action from Nihon Falcom. Starting with a vibrant new conceptor theme and a large, colorful Falcom logo over a water texture, embodying a philosophy of fluid creativity. The main focus is a recruitment drive under the banner calling for sensibility professionals, seeking talent across various creative fields crucial to game development. They are looking to expand their team with roles including software development, specifically assembly programmers, game graphics, design, layout, color, music, composers, arrangers, manipulators, production, scenario writers, designers, and planning and operations, sales, promotion, shop management. The requirements include submitting portfolios and resumes, with a selection process involving document review and interviews. Below the recruitment section is information about the Falcom latest information hub, which is the Falcom Shop. Described as the place where all new Falcom products and goods are available, it promises a direct connection with the company and the fastest access to new releases. The page provides a map showing the shop's location near Junior Yogi Station in Shibuya, along with photos of the street leading there, the store interior with staff, and a wide array of merchandise including game boxes, recognizable as YS and Dragon Slayer series titles, CDs, books, bags, and t-shirts. It positions the shop as essential for dedicated fans to get the latest items and info directly. This page showcases the action-packed shooting game Target Earth, known as Assault Suit Lanos in Japan, for the Sega Mega Drive. The page features a striking illustration of the game's main mech in a dynamic pose. It highlights the game's setting on Ganymede, where an unexpected enemy force is attacking a resource base, prompting the dispatch of the assault suit team to defend it. The core message emphasizes the desperate fight against this unknown threat. Key features promoted include its multi-directional scrolling and expansive battlefields, promising intense combat. The game is also lauded for its beautiful graphics and exciting background music. Players will experience the unfolding conflict through 8 distinct scenarios, from the initial enemy attack and escape to infiltration, frontline defense, surprise attacks, and a final push, culminating in a battle around a space colony before the final confrontation. Customization and strategy are available through numerous optional weapons that allow players to power up their mech. Multiple screenshots are displayed, showing off various gameplay environments like a planetary surface, a space battle, and indoor base sections, along with a glimpse of the weapon selection menu and dialogue sequences. The game was released as a 4 megabit ROM cartridge, priced at 6,200 yen, excluding tax, and is published by Masaya. This page serves as a definitive guide to the latest RPGs, boldly declaring that RPG games have entered a golden age. Published by SoftBank and priced at 540 yen, this guide covers a wealth of titles from late 1989 into 1990, celebrating the genre's boom. It features upcoming games scheduled for release between March and May, such as the highly anticipated Final Fantasy II-I, Madara, Fortress of Necros, Momotaro Densetsu 2, and Phantasy Star II-I. The guide also highlights popular RPGs released since February, including the massive hit Dragon Warrior IV, Megami Tensei 2, Wizardry 2, and Ultraman Club 2. A comprehensive catalog section reviews RPGs released from December to February, featuring titles like Ganbare Goemon Gaiden, the horror RPG Sweet Home, the classic compilation YSI&2, Sansara Naga, and The Legend of Heroes. Beyond game lists, the guide includes special features like interviews with renowned RPG sound composers, Koichi Sugiyama, Dragon Warrior, and Keiichi Suzuki, Mother, and profiles on influential RPG creators such as Koichi Nakamura, Dragon Warrior, and Kiyoshi Kurosawa, Sweet Home. There are also articles exploring the history and evolution of RPGs. Accompanying the text are vibrant pixel art illustrations and screenshots, including battle scenes that appear to be from Dragon Warrior IV, showcasing the graphical advancements of the era and giving players a visual taste of the featured adventures. This page presents the table of contents for the May 1990 issue, highlighting the focus on the latest Mega Drive titles. The magazine dives into upcoming games with features like New Game Scramble and the B Mega Hot menu, covering a wide range of genres including shooters like Hellfire, Thunder Force 2i, Phelios, and Shiten-Yu, action titles like Strider and SWAT, and even sports with Cutie Suzuki's Ringside Angel. Deeper dives into specific games are promised in the New Game Thorough Masters section, featuring titles like Phantasy Star II, Darwin 4081, Cyblade, and Whiplash. Beyond game reviews, the magazine explores the future of gaming, with a special feature on considering next-generation game machines with cutting-edge technology, accompanied by an image of the Sega Game Gear. Another feature contemplates the rise of simulation games and their potential as the post-RPG, following the trend discussed in the previous issue. An image of a racing game, likely Super Monaco GP, which is listed, is also visible. This page features a visual index highlighting some key articles in this issue. Starting with images at the top, we see screenshots from a top-down arena game, likely a Bomberman-style title, and a side-scrolling beat-em-up, showcasing vibrant arcade action. Next to these is a detailed image of the sophisticated XE1AP controller, known for its multi-system compatibility and precision. The main body of the page lists featured articles with page numbers. A significant piece on page 52 reviews the new X1AP controller, likely discussing its features and appeal for different game genres. Page 53 delves into the state and future of the Atari Lynx handheld console. Following this, page 54 presents a report on Japan's first vocational school dedicated to game development. Further down, pages 100 and 102 promise deeper dives into gameplay, with a Mega Drive cheat league and a Mega Drive masterclass offering strategy and tips. The lower section displays a more comprehensive list of articles, covering diverse topics from industry news and developer interviews to specific game features and reader contributions. This page features an exciting report on a new television show called Mega Kids TV, centered entirely around the Sega Mega Drive for its dedicated fanbase. Hosted by the charismatic variety idol Hiroko Moriguchi, this 30-minute program dives deep into the world of Mega Drive, while also exploring broader youth culture topics like fashion, music, and entertainment. The article highlights that the show is shot entirely on location, capturing the energy of various places. The inaugural episode features guest Tomomi Nishi, exploring the iconic Harajuku district in Tokyo. Photos show Moriguchi and Nishi together, labeled as the Flower of Megadora, and also capture the production team working on location, emphasizing the show's dynamic, non-studio format. Aimed at intelligent young gamers, Mega Kids TV promises a speedy and thrilling delivery of relevant information, making it a must-watch for the target audience in the broadcasting regions. The magazine staff express their anticipation and well wishes for this pioneering Mega Drive information program. This page continues the report on the new Mega Kids TV show, emphasizing that despite covering broader youth culture, the core focus remains the Sega Mega Drive. The show features a segment reviewing one or two new Mega Drive titles in each episode, with the first episode highlighting the game Darwin 4081. The page then dramatically introduces Sega's brand new handheld system, the Game Gear. Presented as a powerful competitor in the handheld market, the Game Gear boasts a color backlit LCD screen, powered by a Z80 CPU. It supports two-player battles, and runs for 23 hours on 6 alkaline batteries. The screen is noted as being larger than the Game Boy's, but smaller than the Lynx, offering fine and vivid visuals with 4,096 colors. A significant feature is the optional TV tuner accessory, allowing the device to function as a portable television. At launch, 3 software titles are expected, with Sega planning a total of 8 releases within the year, and third parties adding more. The console is priced at 19,800 yen, using the Mega Drive's AC adapter. The TV tuner is 10,000 yen, and software will cost 500 yen. The software is slated for a September release. Visuals include more shots of the TV show production, featuring the hosts and crew filming and watching a screen, alongside detailed images of the Game Gear itself, including a diagram comparing its size to other handhelds, and a shot showing the TV tuner attached. This page is dedicated to showcasing the upcoming action game SWAT for the Sega Mega Drive, scheduled for a July release. It's presented as a dramatic sequel to the arcade version, taking place 50 years in the future, where a unified crime organization called I threatens the world. Players step into the boots of an enhanced SWAT officer, equipped with advanced gear referred to as New Ice, and various powerful weapons to combat this new threat. The article describes the gameplay as an action game similar to The Revenge of Shinobi, where progression involves collecting items to upgrade armor and acquire different weapon types. The journey takes the player through diverse environments, including buildings, prisons, biolabs, and underground bases, culminating in a confrontation with the I leadership. Screenshots illustrate the intense action, showing the player character in their armored suit, using different weapons like a super shot and powerful fire blasts within varied settings from the game. The page also lists other notable games, such as Crackdown, Strider, and Hellfire. This page previews two exciting action titles coming to the Mega Drive. First, we have Crackdown from Sega, slated for an August release. This looks to be a solid port of their arcade action game, with the gameplay screens now looking nearly complete. It's expected to be quite challenging, similar to the original arcade version, though the map layouts will be adjusted for this release. The character movements are detailed, and features like conveyor belts and wall interactions seem faithfully recreated. While details on the two-player mode are still unclear, the preview suggests we can look forward to the variety of enemies, special weapons, and the final boss from the arcade. Following that is Strider, Capcom's popular arcade hit being brought to the Mega Drive by Sega. The article highlights it as a near-perfect port, emphasizing the fluid character movement that was a hallmark of the arcade game and the engaging enemy encounters. The screenshots shown look very close to the original, suggesting a high-quality conversion. The preview briefly mentions the game's compelling storyline involving Hiryu's mission to defeat the Grandmaster. Based on the visuals, this port is shaping up to be a fantastic rendition of the arcade classic. This page previews three distinct upcoming titles for the Mega Drive. First, we look at Cutie Suzuki's Ringside Angel, a professional wrestling game featuring the popular female wrestler Cutie Suzuki. The article points out the game includes 25 different moves with detailed animation, including Cutie's signature special. It supports 1 and 2 players, a watch mode, and features an announcer on screen to provide commentary. Screenshots include a character profile and the tournament structure. Next is Hellfire, the Mega Drive port of the challenging horizontal scrolling shooter by Messiah. It's highlighted as a power-up focused shooter with some adjustments to the power-up mechanics. The strategic choice of which of the 4 weapon types to use based on enemy formations is emphasized. The preview notes the original arcade game was very difficult, suggesting the Mega Drive version will follow suit. Gameplay screenshots show the ship battling various enemies. Finally, Sigma Shoji is developing a new 4-player cooperative action game. This horizontal scrolling action shooter allows players to control one of 4 characters who gain power from the 4 Heavenly Kings. Players navigate 9 stages set in different time periods, utilizing character switching or selection and cooperation to progress. The screenshots show multiple characters fighting on screen, hinting at the game's emphasis on teamwork. This page previews 2 exciting upcoming Sega Mega Drive games. First up is Super Monaco GP, featuring a new World Championship mode where you race on 16 real-world F1 circuits. This mode feels more like a simulation, allowing you to upgrade your car by winning races, which the reviewer notes is where the game truly shines compared to other modes just for practice. Screenshots show various aspects of the game, from the title screen and car setup to actual race circuits like Phoenix, Monaco, and Suzuka. Next we see Wonder Boy 2-1, Monster Lair, a classic arcade action game coming to the Mega Drive. Fans of the Mark II will recognize it. The game combines side-scrolling action with cute characters. Each round is split into 2 parts, a traditional action segment where you use a sword against enemies, followed by a shooting segment where you ride a dragon to face the boss. Screenshots showcase both gameplay styles, including fighting a snail with a sword and battling a large fish boss underwater. The reviewer suggests this nostalgic action game is also shaping up to be a good title. This page focuses on the highly anticipated return of Thunder Force 2i. A B Mega Hot menu highlights other games featured in this section, including Furios, Ghostbusters, DJ Boy, and Cyberball. The main article hails Thunder Force 2Ns as a masterpiece returning to the Mega Drive, emphasizing its status as a top-tier shooting game that has captivated players. The article notes this will be a multi-part feature covering the game in depth. It provides context for the series, explaining that the original Thunder Force started on computers. Thunder Force 2 was developed for the X68000, a machine with specs similar to the Mega Drive, leading to the Thunder Force 2 MD port. And now Thunder Force 2i is designed specifically for the Mega Drive hardware. The article describes the gameplay of the previous title, Thunder Force 2 MD, which alternated between top-view missions focused on destroying bases and side-view scrolling missions culminating in boss battles, noting that the side-view sections were generally better received. Power-ups could be collected, but were lost upon the player's ship being destroyed. Screenshots on the page showcase both the top-view and side-view gameplay segments from Thunder Force 2 MD. The reviewer expresses excitement for Thunder Force 2i, suggesting it fully utilizes the Mega Drive's capabilities for a unique gaming experience. This page delves deeper into Thunder Force 2i's, explaining how it represents a significant evolution from its predecessors. It highlights the game's exclusive development for the Mega Drive and how it incorporates player feedback. The biggest change noted is the removal of the less popular top-view stages, making the entire game a side-scrolling experience. The reviewer praises the enhanced visuals and sound, particularly the use of line scroll, raster scrolling, which is explained in a separate column as a technique for creating dynamic backgrounds by altering the scroll speed of individual horizontal lines. This column mentions other games, like Darius 2 and Free 1 Race, that used similar techniques. The article also details the improved power-up system. Unlike previous games where all weapons were lost on death, in Thunder Force 2 only the currently equipped weapon is dropped, a welcome change for a challenging game. The page showcases the game's diverse arsenal, describing the 9 available weapon types, including fan favorites like the Homing Hunter, the Wall-Piercing Wave, and the Protective Claw options, alongside enhanced versions of the standard Twin Shot and Backfire. Screenshots illustrate these various weapons in action. This page outlines the major improvements and technical features of Thunder Force 2i, focusing on gameplay flow, graphical techniques like line scrolling, and the updated weapon system. Thunder Force 2's initial stages promise engaging gameplay. Stage 1, set on the planet Hydora, offers a relatively open battleground with dense vegetation and the Gorgon boss, a dragon with a vulnerable stomach. Players will encounter enemies like Rubarth fighters and missile-firing Rycasters. Stage 2 takes place on the fiery planet Gorgon, utilizing a dynamic wavy scrolling effect. Players must navigate fire pillars and high-speed scrolling sections, facing enemies such as Dest Gunner, 2i robots, and the Podguff mid-boss. The game hints at later stage enemies, including an underwater creature. The Stage Select option allows players to replay completed levels. This page features Namco's upcoming Mega Drive title, Phantasma, set for a July 20th release in Japan. This is the game's third appearance in the magazine, and the article dives into details about its port from the Namco System 2 arcade board, addressing reader questions about scaling, rotation, and voice synthesis. It highlights Namco's efforts to faithfully recreate the arcade experience despite the Mega Drive's hardware differences, successfully implementing features like impressive scaling and multi-directional scrolling effects. The game is structured into 7 chapters, with novice and advanced difficulty modes available. A key revelation is the inclusion of voice synthesis, specifically for the character Artemis. The article also gives a rundown of the various power-ups and weapons players can acquire, including the speed-up, option, beam, homing, and the essential across beam needed for the second chapter. There's also mention of a legendary Sword of Light, required to defeat a powerful demon, its method of acquisition shrouded in mystery. This guide provides strategic advice for the early chapters of Atomic RoboKid Special. Chapter 1, Didros Hill, features forced diagonal scrolling and the boss Medusa. Focus on the option and beam power-ups, and attack Medusa's face after she separates it. Chapter 2, Underground Cave, challenges you to rescue Artemis, navigating enemies like Emza and Poison. Utilize the across beam and target Glyai's central blue orb. Chapter 3, Sky Shrine Group, introduces fast-scrolling sections and enemies like griffins and dragon fighters, culminating in the fight against Senrin. Defeat Sikiron by charging up Apollo's attacks after she reveals her monstrous bird form. This page delves into the world of Pharios, a game heavily inspired by ancient Greek mythology. The reviewer highlights the unique enemy designs and character work, crediting Namco for bringing such personality to a shooting game. The guide covers several challenging chapters. Chapter 4, The World of Fire, features the constantly appearing chimeras and a tricky rotating statue before reaching the boss, Antaeus, who bombards you with fiery projectiles. Chapter 5, The World of Ice, introduces massive rolling spiked spheres and the boss Scylla, whose crystal weak point requires careful targeting while avoiding her sharp teeth. Chapter 6, The World of Water, tasks you with navigating rocky islands defended by rock-throwing earth demons, and culminates in a battle against the three-headed hellhound Cerberus. Finally, Chapter 7, The World of Darkness, is described as a space-like environment filled with mysterious spherical obstacles, leading to the confrontation with DuPont. To defeat DuPont, the legendary Sword of Furios is needed, its acquisition and effects still shrouded in mystery. The reviewer ends by expressing anticipation for whether Apollo can rescue Artemis from DuPont's clutches. This page features the Sega Mega Drive version of Ghostbusters, the third installment of its coverage, which is also the final one. It offers a quick overview of the game for newcomers. You choose one of the three iconic Ghostbusters, Peter Venkman, Raymond Stantz, or Egon Spengler, and venture through New York City busting mischievous ghosts in this action game. Gameplay involves standard shooting and screen-clearing bomb items, which can be purchased at a shop using money earned from clearing rounds or capturing mid-bosses. The game features 5 maze-like rounds filled with various ghosts. While the first 4 rounds can be tackled in any order, Round 5 requires clearing the previous 4. Round 1, an outdoor location, is recommended as the starting point due to its simplicity. It features a mid-boss resembling Humpty Dumpty who attacks with chemical rabbits, and a green, rolling big boss. Round 2 takes you to an apartment covered in ice, offering a $2,500 reward upon completion, and includes amusing testimonials from the victim and the ghost culprit. The character selection screen and in-game map/item screen are also shown, along with screenshots of the action. This page continues the deep dive into the Sega Mega Drive version of Ghostbusters, focusing on Round 2, the icy apartment level. The level structure is intricate, with the difficulty increasing as you ascend. A recurring hazard is sharp icicles hanging from the ceiling. While they can be destroyed, they quickly regrow, requiring careful movement, especially when jumping. The level features 2 mid-bosses, the Banshee and the Crystal Giant. The recommended approach is to tackle the Banshee first. While flying, the Banshee is invincible. It splits into 3, and you should target the head of the uppermost one, preferably with diagonal shots, as jump shots are less effective. The Crystal Giant's weak point is also the head, but its attacks make direct attacks risky. The guide suggests using jump shots against the Crystal Giant to avoid its beams. After clearing the mid-bosses, you face the final boss of this round, the Twin Snowman. Its weak point is its top head, which requires aiming diagonally. This boss is quite durable, leading to a potentially drawn-out battle. Small snowmen minions are spat out and can be easily destroyed. If your health is low before facing the big boss, it's wise to return to the starting office area to recover. The page includes screenshots illustrating the encounters with the Crystal Giant, the Splitting Banshee, and the Twin Snowman boss and its minions. This page delves into Round 3 of Ghostbusters on the Mega Drive, titled Burning My Home, with a reward of $3,000. As the title suggests, this level is engulfed in flames, a significant departure from the icy previous stage, and presenting a much higher difficulty, described here as blisteringly hot. Interestingly, the text claims Round 4 is easier by comparison. The main hazard throughout this stage is fire erupting from the floor and ceiling with various patterns. Mastering the timing and locations of these fire blasts is crucial for survival. While there are fewer minor enemies compared to previous rounds, you'll face 2 formidable mid-bosses, the Fireman and the Fire Dragon. The Fireman's weak point is its head, particularly just before or after it spits fire. The guide recommends hit-and-run tactics. The Fire Dragon is presented as tougher but still beatable. Its weak spot is also the head. Diagonal shots are effective for defeating it quickly. The Fire Dragon appears suddenly and attacks with large fire blasts. The text notes that jump shots do not damage it while it is jumping. Given the potential for long battles against these bosses, keeping a health recovery item handy is advised. Screenshots illustrate the fiery hazards, showing the player navigating around erupting flames and facing off against the fireman mid-boss. The level map also clearly depicts the layout and locations of key enemies like the Fire Dragon. This page presents Round 4 of Ghostbusters on the Genesis, set in a high-rise mansion with a bounty of $5,000. The level map dominates the page, illustrating the complex, multi-story vertical design, featuring numerous platforms, stairs, and a large pool of water at the bottom. The text explains the stage is a towering structure that requires players to ascend through its many floors. Expect to encounter a multitude of familiar minor enemies throughout this large environment. The round features 2 mid-bosses, with the Centipede Ghost noted as particularly challenging, recommending players ensure they have powerful weapons equipped before facing it. Story elements are also highlighted, with a victim's testimony describing the mansion's infestation and the need to clear it out. Another section features Gozer, the ultimate antagonist, introducing himself as the god of destruction and referencing the Ghostbusters directly. The page concludes by stating that solving these initial cases isn't the end, hinting that the true resolution to the crisis in New York is still to come. This page features DJ Boy, a Sega action game ported from the arcade, noted for its comfortable difficulty and exhilarating roller fighting action. The story centers on DJ Boy, a globe-trotting roller fighter, who must rescue his girlfriend Maria after she is kidnapped by the villainous Dark Blackies, led by Heavy Metal Tamakiani. The controls are simple but effective, using A for punch, B for kick, and C for jump. Combinations allow for a dashing punch, A plus B, and a crucial jump kick, B plus C, vital for overcoming obstacles and enemies. While punches are weaker, they can combo, and kicks offer good range and power. The first round introduces basic enemy types, including thin and fat fighters, with distinct attack patterns. Defeating enemies yields coins that can be used in a shop appearing after clearing an area to buy power-up items. Hamburgers dropped by certain enemies restore health. The boss of the first round is best defeated using continuous jump kicks. The page includes several screenshots showing the title screen, story moments, control demonstrations, and gameplay from round 1. The reviewer praises the game's feel and emphasizes mastering the jump kick. This review of DJ Boy continues, focusing on gameplay elements. Round 1 features a challenging boss, Big Mama, whose high defense necessitates precise jump kicks to avoid her devastating attacks. Round 2 shifts to a subway station, introducing new enemies like flight jacket-wearing foes easily defeated by rapid punches, and unicycle riders requiring careful timing to avoid. Environmental hazards such as oil slicks and pylons add to the challenge. Knocking down a cat from a blimp yields a health-restoring hamburger. The review also details the item shop, accessible after boss fights, offering items like hamburgers, ice cream, roller skates, and various power-ups. The reviewer finds the game straightforward, praising its action and sound. They express a desire for simultaneous two-player gameplay and anticipate the next part of the review. This page introduces the Sega Mega Drive port of the Atari arcade game, Cyberball, a futuristic take on American football played by robots. The article begins with a basic primer on American football rules, essential for understanding the game. It then delves into Cyberball's unique mechanics, explaining that the ball changes states, cool to critical, and eventually explodes, requiring teams to advance quickly past the center line or risk losing players. Success in plays earns money, which is used to purchase and upgrade robots, improving the team's capabilities. Robots come in different grades, with varying costs and abilities. The page features an introduction to several robot player positions, including quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, safety, linebacker, and cornerback, showing their appearance, position abbreviations, and upgrade costs. A screenshot provides a top-down view of the robotic gameplay on the field. Cyberball is a football game with simple controls using directional pads and triggers. Players select from 14 teams across 3 leagues, each with similar base abilities. Gameplay involves kickoffs, tackling, and progressing in periods, alternating offense and defense. The game features 16 formation patterns for offense and defense, encouraging strategic adjustments. A key mechanic is the explosive ball, which can eliminate the quarterback if held for too long. Fumbles and incomplete passes are also possible. The game supports 2-player gameplay and modem play, with the ability to save and use developed teams in versus matches via password. The game is recommended for dedicated fans. This page dives deep into the upcoming RPG Phantasy Star IV, Generations of Doom, highlighting its unique features. It's presented as part 1 of a complete master guide. The background sets the stage 1,000 years after the previous conflict, detailing the post-war world and the lingering impact of the Laya Orlikio War. The article focuses on 3 major features. First, the multi-scenario and multi-ending system, driven by generational changes, where player choices at key branching points drastically alter the story and even character personalities. This system is noted for its lack of backtracking and limited save points, making strategic decisions critical. Second, the dynamic sound system, where the background music changes in sync with character psychological states and the flow of battle, reflecting favorable or unfavorable situations. Third, the technique system, akin to magic, usable by specific character types. This system features 4 main branches: attack, balance, rest, and time, whose power distribution can be freely adjusted at special shops. This balance affects technique effectiveness, allowing players to customize abilities based on enemy weaknesses, like boosting fire spells against fire-vulnerable monsters. The article shows a screenshot of the Master's Shop interface, where these adjustments are made for a fee, emphasizing this strategic customization is key to mastering the game. This page introduces the key characters from the first generation of Phantasy Star IV. Generations of Doom. We see profiles for Cain, the Prince of Lamaya, aged 18, detailing his background and his complicated decision to marry an amnesiac girl he saved from the sea, rather than his arranged fiancée. Next is Mew, a 16-year-old amnesiac beauty who washes ashore and is taken in by Cain. Her profile questions whether her agreement to marry a stranger stems from insecurity due to memory loss or her royal heritage. Finally, we meet Ren, a 17-year-old who helps Cain escape imprisonment. Described as a pure and devoted girl, her connection to royalty or status as a thief is questioned, and her true role remains a secret. The page also features a comparison between Phantasy Star II and 2i, specifically looking at battle scenes and vehicles. The reviewer finds PS2i's battle animation less impressive than PS2, but notes improvements to the battle system itself, including the addition of an auto battle option. In terms of vehicles, PS2 featured a futuristic jet scooter, while PS2i shifts to a more medieval style with a boat equipped with a cannon, fitting the different world settings. The page includes concept art and pixel sprites for the characters, along with screenshots comparing the battle and vehicle segments between the two games. A small, amusing section at the end points out Sega's apparent fondness for blue-haired protagonists. 1,000 years after a devastating war, Phantasy Star II. Generations of Doom's story begins with Rice, Prince of Leia, rescuing the amnesiac Maya. He marries her, but she is kidnapped, leading Rice to plan war. Imprisoned by his father, he is freed by Lena. The game starts in Rice's castle town. Players can purchase healing items at the tool shop, equip weapons and armor, heal at the church, and save progress at the inn, a series first. Character techniques are learned at the Master's Shop. A fortune teller hints at the main quest, a prince from Arachio, and a powerful figure rising near the moons. Players are urged to gather information and equip properly before seeking Mata and venturing to Yatta. Lena's role remains mysterious. This page delves into Yatta, a coastal town south of Ryle in Phantasy Star II. It's a port town, crucial because it's home to the only person in the world who owns a boat, essential for crossing the sea. However, this boat owner is a notorious womanizer who demands you bring a girl with you to get passage. Since Rise currently lacks a female companion, he's unable to secure the boat needed to reach the southern continent in pursuit of the sapphire of the forest thief. The page also details the town's amenities. The inn offers cheap lodging, and the innkeeper's daughter is noted as the town's cutest. The church serves its standard role of healing and curing poison, being the largest building. The Master's Shop is present, but irrelevant for Rices who can't use techniques. The weapon, armor, and tool shops have limited inventory, with the armor shop being just a short walk from Ryle. Interesting NPCs include a man in the tool shop claiming to have flown in the past, and a man in the armor shop who gives useless information. Ultimately, Yatta feels like a town whose sole purpose is the challenge of acquiring that essential boat. The town of Huri, east of Yatta, serves as a vital stop in Phantasy Star II. The reviewer gathers information from townsfolk and finds the typical shops: an inn, weapons, armor, and tools. The armor shop's inclusion of women's armor hints at a future female party member. The church provides status ailment healing. The Master's Shop, teaching techniques, raises questions about its purpose, given that robots, who also use techniques, are reportedly extinct. A key aspect of Huri is the Seeking Girl quest, mirroring a similar objective in Yatta. The page also introduces the game's battle mechanics, with 2 monster rows, highlighting creatures like Sira and Molmoth. Though the town itself is unremarkable, it establishes important plot elements and gameplay mechanics. This page details the encounter with Sure Gold, an android who joins the party, fulfilling the Seeking Girl quest mentioned on the previous page. Sure Gold, known as Mayu in the Japanese version, is introduced along with a brief overview of her starting parameters. The page humorously highlights Sega's apparent fondness for feline-inspired characters, comparing Mayu from the first game, Ni from Phantasy Star II, and Sure from this game. Following Sure joining, the party returns to Yatta to acquire a boat from a seemingly girl-obsessed old man, a process depicted with lighthearted commentary on how easily persuaded he might be with a girl present. The boat journey takes them south. Along the way, they pass a submerged shrine belonging to the Leah family. The old man recounts an ancient legend about the shrine, detailing the battle between Lelia and Oracale. After the tale, they arrive on the southern continent and are directed towards a cave said to contain a valuable jewel, potentially the sapphire of the forest. The page notes that the boat waits for the party at the landing spot, a helpful reminder for players. This page delves into Lyle's cave in Phantasy Star IV, guiding players through the dungeon to confront Lyle and retrieve the critical sapphire of the forest. The guide notes the cave is surprisingly simple and lacks tough monsters, making it an easy clear compared to earlier entries in the series. Screenshots show the cave entrance and an in-dungeon battle, highlighting that poison attacks are common here, and the background graphics change and scroll. The main focus is on the encounter with Lyle, described as a 20-year-old nihilistic warrior. The text expresses amusement and confusion that the meeting is uneventful. Lyle simply returns the sapphire and departs, leaving the reviewer pondering his true purpose and the strangely anticlimactic confrontation. Character artwork, likely of Rise, accompanies a quote about wanting to see the world. The sapphire of the forest is explained as the essential key needed to open the path to the next area, the world of snow. It was originally held by the royal family of Leah, but stolen by Lyle. The page also includes a small humorous cartoon speculating on silly alternative meanings for the gem's name. This page continues the journey in Phantasy Star III, detailing the progression to the world of snow. Using the forest sapphire, the party enters a cave that astonishingly leads not to a natural environment, but a bizarre, super-futuristic mechanical space resembling a giant computer board. The reviewer expresses confusion about this sudden shift to a mechanical civilization, questioning if the planet itself is artificial, or if there's a deeper meaning to this sealed area and its potential connection to other worlds. Navigating this complex, double-scrolling mechanical dungeon leads to an exit that emerges into a completely different landscape, a desolate snow world. The guide highlights the drastic change in environment, almost like stepping onto another planet, pondering if this is the icy world of Diazorus, and if the starting world was Palma. The appearance of the same monsters from previous areas in this cold climate adds to the confusion. Humorous cartoons depict the characters shivering in the snow and navigating the strange mechanical labyrinth. The guide concludes, leaving many mysteries unsolved and promising the continuation in the next issue. This page presents a lighter, community-focused section titled Iroha Gatano Maki, suggesting a recurring column. Under the heading Economy, the page features a magazine communication game where readers are encouraged to submit various ideas, including game concepts or consultations, potentially earning points. A prominent section titled Postcard Big Recruitment, Magazine Consultation Room, includes a humorous illustration and theme, soliciting submissions on humorous topics related to aging. The page also includes reader consultation queue and sections. One reader, identified as Matsumoto Mikio, asks for advice on improving his appearance to seem cool. The response suggests finding a passion and excelling at it, referencing popular culture figures like characters such as Akuma-kun and Chibi Maruko-chan, as well as musicians, as examples of people passionate about their interests. Another consultation features a joke question met with a humorous tongue-twister answer, highlighting the section's comedic nature. Scattered throughout the page are short, often humorous or opinionated remarks tagged with Japanese characters, touching on various unrelated topics and frequently referencing popular characters or personalities like Akuma-kun, Chibi Maruko-chan, Maz, and Miura. Overall, this page serves as a reader interaction hub with a strong emphasis on humor and community engagement rather than detailed game content or reviews. This page features a humorous article under the ironic heading Politics, titled Surprise! What is the montage game? Accompanied by a quirky illustration. The article describes a bizarre game from the author's childhood involving sensory identification, evolving into an adult version centered around memory, observation, and identifying people by touching their buttocks, with players removing clothes upon losing. Below, the Isanari Focus Volume 2 column highlights a curious event involving the masked band Sea Monkeys, A photo shows band members alongside a woman from The News during a live event for Nagisa Oshima's CD release. The text reports on witnessing band members being held by the woman while fireworks were being sparked, described as a peculiar scene. A note from the editorial department on the right offers a self-deprecating apology, humorously suggesting the magazine's quality has significantly dropped to the level of BeepMD, adding to the publication's lighthearted tone. This page features the end-of-century Kitaretsu newspaper, presented as page 1 of this section. The main highlight is this month's cases, leading with a story titled, Using G Baba as Material, Punch Explosion. This article details a bizarre incident involving someone stirring up trouble by invoking the name of wrestling legend Giant Baba, leading to a physical confrontation described with a splash graphic. Below, another article recounts a dashed dream of traveling to Finland, titled, The Dream of Finland Disappears into the Distance. Further down, the Suddenly Focus column presents its first volume, Kuya Shonen Art. This column features a photo of a striking sculpture of the historical figure Kuya Shonen, noting it was created by Totori, who also made character dolls used in guides and advertisements for the Famicom game Mother, Earthbound Beginnings. The page also includes a collection of short anecdotes under the heading Numbers, People, Words, featuring brief pieces titled 500 million yen, 5 animals, and 30 years old, offering various quick observations and stories. There is also a section titled Sexual Harassment, which appears to be a commentary or story addressing the topic. Overall, the page offers a mix of eccentric news, personal stories, art features, and social commentary presented in a quirky, newspaper-like format within the magazine. This page features Special Feature 2, A Premonition of Simulation Games? Exploring the new wave of strategy simulation games, SLGS, from Nobunaga's ambition to populace. Authored by Masahiro Nobeta, the article questions the perception that SLGS are time-consuming and complex, suggesting they are poised to become the next popular genre after RPGs. The piece delves into the history of SLGS, referencing the famous Battle of Kawanakajima as context, and discussing early Japanese historical simulations like Koei's 1982 game, Battle of Kawanakajima no Kassen. It notes how these simple, almost graphicless games simulated real military strategy. The author also touches upon Western wargames played on hex maps, like Tactics, reflecting on how early computer simulations, while calculating results, still often required players to move physical pieces on a map. The article highlights this evolution from board games to computer simulations, setting the stage for the discussion of more modern and popular titles like Nobunaga's Ambition and the influential God game Populous, suggesting their rise represents a new era for the genre. The accompanying image shows a tabletop wargame setup with a hex map, miniatures, and a castle piece. This page continues the deep dive into simulation games, emphasizing the groundbreaking impact of titles like Koei's Nobunaga's Ambition, first released in 1983. This game allowed players to pursue Oda Nobunaga's dream of unifying Japan, standing out for its historical accuracy and compelling scenarios. Appearing 2 years later in 1985, System Soft's modern great strategy, Daisen Ryaku, emerged as a key evolution, addressing previous simulation game frustrations with improved visuals, making it easy to identify units like the Leopard tank or Gepard anti-aircraft vehicle shown in the screenshot. The article also touches upon other influential games from the era, including Koei's Romance of the Three Kingdoms, which ingeniously focused on historical figures, and Normandy Landing Operation, released 3 years prior, which already showcased mechanics for simulating large-scale historical battles. While the page briefly covers Daisen Ryaku 2i Great Commander for the PC-98 series, showcasing its expanded maps and units, the focus shifts to Super Daisen Ryaku for the Sega Mega Drive. This Mega Drive port of the popular PC strategy game faithfully reproduces the core simulation experience, featuring a wide array of modern military units. It includes animated combat sequences and supports complex strategic gameplay on hex maps, involving up to 4 nations vying for control. This demanding strategy title is clearly aimed at serious simulation fans. This page continues the look at simulation games, noting how PC trends like improved visuals and mouse support influenced the genre's evolution, even touching on console entries. The discussion then shifts focus to science fiction simulations, featuring titles like the critically acclaimed Legend of the Galactic Heroes, based on the popular novel, and the story-rich Schwertschild, The page highlights two distinct Sega Mega Drive simulation titles. The first is Herzog 2, a real-time action strategy game that broke the mold, described as a unique blend where players directly pilot a transforming unit while managing others, leading to fast-paced base destruction gameplay that reviewers found refreshingly different. The second is the upcoming baseball simulation Telephone Stadium, praised for its realistic graphics and simulation depth. Its most notable feature is the inclusion of Mega Modem support, allowing players to engage in exciting online matches, which the reviewer notes adds a significant strategic layer compared to AI opponents. This page expands on the world of simulation games beyond war games, highlighting titles like SimCity, which simulates urban planning and problems, and Balance of Power, focusing on political and diplomatic crises. The article notes the trend in the 90s towards real-time gameplay, communication features, and more refined, accessible controls, citing Populous as a prime example where the player acts as a deity. The discussion includes two specific games. Famicom Wars for the Famicom is presented as an approachable yet deep strategy game that uses square grids and unique units, praised for its well-designed maps and overall playability. Nectaris, known as Military Madness internationally for the PC Engine, is also featured, highlighting its unit production system from bases and dynamic combat animations, likewise receiving praise for its map design and accessibility. The next page continues exploring simulation and strategy games, revisiting Populous for the PC-98 and X68. It highlights the game's unique perspective, where the player acts as a god, not directly controlling units but shaping the land and unleashing powerful divine interventions like earthquakes and volcanoes. This godlike influence on the world, as mentioned on the previous page, is central to Populous's design, which features numerous different maps and modem connectivity for battles. The page also introduces Fire Emblem for the Famicom, a new fantasy strategy RPG from Nintendo that focuses heavily on character growth and a story that progresses as players achieve specific objectives in each scenario. The game incorporates classic RPG elements, including item collection and conversational interactions. Finally, the page features Izaki Shugoro's horse racing winning strategy, a detailed horse racing simulation for the Famicom and PC-98. Supervised by a professional, this game provides extensive data on real horses and jockeys from Japanese racing, allowing players to engage in realistic betting strategies and experience dynamic race developments. This page features a column titled The TV Game Market Frontline by Jam Ojisan, discussing market trends. This first installment focuses on maker focus / hardware specific user bases. The article delves into the hot topic of which system, the Famicom, NES, Mega Drive, Genesis, or PC Engine, TurboGrafx-16, will thrive in the 90s. The author questions the traditional view that software sales are directly proportional to hardware install base, suggesting this relationship is weakening. The piece highlights that factors other than just console numbers are influencing software sales, particularly emphasizing the concept of big games, which are exceptions to the rule, selling regardless of the console's penetration. As examples, it points to major hits like the Dragon Quest and Super Mario series. The article also explores how user demographics differ between the consoles, influencing purchasing power and tastes. A side panel presents a list of top 5 big games, identified as exceptions to the hardware penetration rule. The list includes 1. Dragon Quest series, 2. Super Mario series, 3. Final Fantasy series, 4. Family Stadium series, Famista, and 5. Wizardry series. The text below the images confirms. The specific titles pictured are Dragon Quest IV, Super Mario Bros. 2. Japanese version, Super Mario USA internationally. Final Fantasy II, Pro Yaku Family Stadium Baseball, and Wizardry 2-1. This page delves into the user demographics of the major consoles of the era: the Famicom, NES, PC Engine, TurboGrafx-16, and Mega Drive, Genesis. Working with data from Famitsu and PC Engine magazines, the analysis confirms a clear split in the user base by age. The NES is dominated by elementary school students, while the TurboGrafx-16 finds its core audience among junior high students. Crucially for us Genesis fans, the Mega Drive strongly appeals to high school students and older players. Based on these demographics, along with assumed purchasing power indexes, older users having higher purchasing power, and estimated penetration rates. The magazine attempts a market size calculation. While the exact numbers aren't the focus, the exercise highlights how the difference in user age and their capacity to buy games impacts the potential market size for each system, beyond just the raw console numbers. This analysis suggests that understanding who is playing is just as vital as how many are playing. The article concludes by looking ahead, noting that this demographic landscape is set to evolve, especially with the impending arrival of the Super Famicom, Super NES, setting the stage for intensified competition where catering to specific user traits will be key. This page introduces a new series titled Emperor of Mania by Ikeda Kizoku. He begins with a brief self-introduction, mentioning he is the lead vocalist for the band Remote, set to debut in July, and identifies himself as a mania. He notes his past work at a software company, but clarifies this series will focus on his various mania pursuits, not computers. The inaugural entry delves into his passionate fandom for professional baseball, specifically the Chunichi Dragons. He recounts his long history supporting the team, highlighting memorable seasons like their league championship in 1974, and the intense rivalry with the Yomiuri Giants during that era, discussing key players and moments. He expresses his longing for the Dragons to win the Japan Series, a feat they haven't achieved since 1954. The page also includes a section called Lord Kizoku's Treasure Museum, showcasing his collection of Chunichi Dragons memorabilia, including Championship Commemoration LPS. A small drawing with notes about team colors and logos is also included. This page introduces a new column titled New Machine Development Workshop, where the author, Aki Nibyaku, explores speculative gaming hardware. The first installment, Sega's MegaDrive, is 24,800 yen. Envisions a hypothetical portable Sega console. The author details potential features like a 3-inch color LCD screen, battery performance, and control layout, suggesting it could offer several hours of play. He also discusses possible compatibility with Sega's existing game library and imagines a range of modular accessories, including interfaces for video, television, and arcade games, hinting at a versatile system design. The column serves as an invitation for readers to contribute their own ideas for future gaming machines. Images accompany the text, showing conceptual drawings of the handheld MegaDrive unit and various attachable cartridges. This page features the Sound Club column by Yasuhiko Shimazu, focusing on revitalizing game music by exploring popular music and music videos. The author notes that game music currently lacks energy and suggests that exposure to vibrant, stimulating music is key to bringing it back to life. He recommends listening to music via video and learning from current trends, highlighting several popular acts. He discusses the band Bucktick, noting their unique atmosphere and recent single Akuno Hana, released after a 1-year hiatus. He also covers Flying Kids, a band that debuted with an album on April 21st, and their music video. Finally, he talks about Napoleon Fish, specifically referencing their Napoleon Fish Tour 1989 video, and the simple, powerful sound of musicians like Genji Sawano featured within it, contrasting it with bands that prioritize energy over harmony. The column also references the popular TV program Ikasu Band Tengoku and its influence on emerging bands. Overall, the author urges reflection on what makes music a hit and what game music needs to reclaim its vitality. This page features reviews covering both music hardware and game music releases. The hardware section highlights 2 devices, the JD21, a distinctive guitar-shaped digital drum and MIDI controller with 24 pads, capable of generating varied electronic sounds, although the reviewer expresses disappointment about its single color option and high cost. Also reviewed is the Zoom 9002, a compact guitar effector featuring multiple effects, a headphone amp, and tuner, presented as a useful tool for guitarists. The CD review section focuses on game music. One review covers the symphonic suite for Dragon Quest IV, the Chapters of the Chosen, noting the return of classic themes performed by the NHK Symphony Orchestra. Another review looks at new entries in the GSM Game Sound Music series, featuring soundtracks for Taito's Special Criminal Investigation, which is praised for its voice collection, and Kaniko's Airbuster, highlighted for its strong fusion sound. The page includes images of the reviewed hardware and cover art for the music grids. This page introduces the impressive new Z1AP analog joypad which launched on March 20th. This controller stands out with key features like switchable digital and analog modes, offering fine 256-step precision in digital and a versatile 270-degree rotating throttle. It sports a unique, perhaps slightly unconventional look, and provides a total of 10 trigger and button inputs, including built-in rapid-fire for A and B. It's designed for both Mega Drive and PC. The review focuses heavily on its performance with Afterburner 2. The standard pad often struggles with lock-on, accidental rolling scissors, and high-speed enemy encounters. The XE1AP effectively remedies these issues, significantly enhancing the gameplay experience. Control nuances for Afterburner 2, like adjusting speed with the throttle, are highlighted. Compatibility with other titles is explored. While challenging for Forgotten Worlds due to awkward button layouts, it works well with Super Shinobi given the game's button customization. Ghouls and Ghosts is problem-free, as it doesn't heavily use the Eki button. For games like Super Daisen Ryaku, where speed isn't paramount despite frequent Eki button use, the controller is functional, though perhaps not essential enough to warrant the purchase alone. The review concludes that for simulation games like Afterburner 2, the XE1AP is a game-changer, far superior to digital pads. This page discusses the Atari Lynx and its current position in the market, questioning its future trajectory. Released late last year, sales have been modest so far, with samples sent to several countries. Atari aims to reach 1 million units worldwide this year, but production is limited by color LCD availability. The primary audience is currently 12-18, focused on shooting games, but Atari plans to expand this with RPGs and sports titles. Regarding the competitor, Atari doesn't see the Lynx competing directly with the Game Boy, comparing them instead to different car segments. They believe the market trend is towards color displays and plan to innovate when technology allows. The most popular games are currently Blue Lightning and Gauntlet, while manuals are being localized. Full game translation is being considered. Third-party support is limited in the US, with only a few developers, while in Japan, 7 companies are contracted, with 2 already completing development. Atari plans extensive promotions, including various media ads, sponsorships, and even integrating the Lynx into services like airlines or cars. A list of upcoming games is shown, indicating dozens of titles are planned. The article concludes that the Lynx is struggling, but Atari is attempting a different strategy than the Game Boy, leveraging the Lynx's unique features like its color screen and potential for innovative uses beyond just gaming. A screenshot shows the action game Gauntlet, highlighting its 4-player capability via a cable. This page features an article titled, Discontinuous Project. Ah, that's what I want to know. Announcing the opening of Japan's first game creator training school by Human in April. The article highlights the current shortage of game creators and introduces the Human Creative School as a solution, interviewing game designer Kenji Iijima and visiting the school just before its opening. The main content is an interview between Iijima and Mr. Hayashi, the school's principal and a managing director at Human. Mr. Hayashi explains that the idea for the school originated 3 years prior, stemming from the difficulty in effectively training employees internally for short periods. The current school is modeled after a smaller cram school concept. All instructors are current Human employees, specifically chosen for their frontline experience in the industry. The school aims to train inexperienced individuals, accumulating know-how in teaching from scratch. Mr. Hayashi mentions plans to eventually make the school a legal entity, which would benefit students seeking employment. The school has a capacity of 120 students, and is currently about 2/3 full, with many recent applications coming from universities. The target age range is junior high graduates and older, with most applicants being inexperienced, though some have prior computer-related experience or wish to learn programming as a hobby. A photo shows a classroom setting with students and an instructor, and a portrait identifies Mr. Hayashi. This page continues the interview with Mr. Hayashi from Human Creative School and game designer Kenji Iijima. They discuss the challenges of operating the school, including the difficulty in creating effective textbooks and ensuring students grasp complex topics within the allocated time. A significant point raised is the industry-wide struggle to find skilled staff, particularly in sound creation and programming, highlighting a need for trained individuals in these specific areas. Mr. Iijima inquires about student interests, noting that game design is currently the most popular field among applicants. The interview also touches on the school's philosophy regarding testing and job placement, emphasizing a focus on practical skill development over formal exams. Mr. Ijima concludes the piece with his thoughts on the nature of game creation and the school's aim to cultivate top-tier technicians capable of producing high-quality games. A portrait photo features Mr. Ijima, referencing his well-known titles like Last Armageddon and Burai. A side panel provides key school information, including location in Kichijoji, tuition, and a brief overview of the curriculum, which covers core areas like programming, graphics, and sound. This page features the magazine's Neketsu Club segment, which this month delves into the theme of mental health through the lens of cinema. The feature notes that, with spring approaching, discussions around mental well-being become more prevalent. 3 distinct films exploring this theme are highlighted. First is the critically acclaimed Rain Man, known for its multiple Academy Award wins and success in Japan. It's described through its plot. A young man discovers his autistic savant brother and their transformative journey. Next is Birdie, based on William Wharton's novel. The text explains. It tells the story of a Vietnam veteran traumatized by war, and his friend's attempts to reach him as he retreats into a bird-like state. Finally, the Japanese film Dogra Magra is discussed. This movie is presented as an adaptation of Yumeno Kusaku's novel, previously thought impossible to film, and is described as an experimental mystery horror exploring the depths of human consciousness, fantasy, and madness. The feature provides a brief look at each film, offering readers varied cinematic perspectives on complex psychological themes. This page features the continuation of the Video What I'll Say Anything About column by Einrinsai Katsudo and Yoshi Joshi, following up on the previous discussion about mental health in cinemas. The conversation delves deeper into the 3 films highlighted, Rain Man, Birdie, and Dogra Magra, offering insights and opinions. They discuss the chemistry between the leads in Rain Man, praising Dustin Hoffman's portrayal of the autistic savant, and the memorable road trip, including the Vegas scene. For Birdie, the focus is on the film's anti-war message and the protagonist's escape into a bird-like state, noting how the film adapted the original novel's WW2 setting to the Vietnam War to enhance its contemporary relevance. The discussion touches on the film's emotional core and the ending. Finally, Dogra Magra is described as being like a jigsaw puzzle, a fragmented adaptation of a complex novel, and the author's comment on its disorienting nature and the protagonist's disturbing traits. Screenshots from each movie illustrate the discussion. The column provides a conversational take on these films and their exploration of psychological themes. The Hot Hot Video Club Part .2 section previews new video and Laserdisc releases for March and April, offering reviews for couch potatoes. Featured are foreign films like the classic French thriller Le Corbeau and the Monkey's psychedelic filmhead. Other films include the Hong Kong romantic drama An Autumn's Tale, the haunted castle comedy High Spirits, and the slapstick Police Academy 3. Additional reviews cover Spike of Bensonhurst, a crime drama about a boxer, the High School Musical Sing, with an incorrect image, the detective comedy Who's Harry Crumb, the thriller She's a Man-Eater, and the horror film The Horror Show. Each review is accompanied by an image. This page continues the Video Club section, presenting reviews for new video and Laserdisc releases across various genres. Films featured include the Ken Russell horror flick, The Lair of the White Worm, the psychological thriller Pin, the classic supernatural horror Poltergeist, and its sequel Poltergeist 2, The Other Side, and the martial arts sequel The Karate Kid Part 2. Also reviewed are Federico Fellini's iconic film 8½, the acclaimed drama Kramer vs. Kramer, and Oliver Stone's war film Platoon. Further entries cover the spy thriller Frederick Forsyth's Another Secret, the action film The Revenge of Colonel Gaddafi, the fight movie Cage, and 2 French films Twahi no Kazoku and Futari no Roboru Hanayome Boshuchu. The list is rounded out by the adventure hit Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade and video releases of the TV series Family Ties. Each entry provides details on the release, including price, year, country, director, and main cast, along with a brief synopsis of the plot, giving viewers a concise overview of these home video options. This page continues the Video Club section, featuring a range of new video and Laserdisc releases spanning foreign films, Japanese films, anime, and classic cartoons. Among the Western releases are the Chevy Chase comedy sequel Fletch Lives, the action film Enemy Unseen, also known as Killing Zone, and the buddy cop classic Lethal Weapon. You'll also find reviews for Black Gideon, /N.Y, Incident File 1, the Mr. T action flick Straight Line, the drama Madame Suzatska, and the sailing movie, The Challenge. The Japanese film section includes the mysterious Hell's Death Prison, and the sci-fi action film, Imperial War. It is also an adaptation of the classic children's story, Kaze no Matasaburo. The page also covers anime and classic animation, highlighting home video releases of Tom and Jerry, Pink Panther, the sci-fi anime movie SF Shinseki Lensman, the cooking anime Mr. Ajiko, the OVA That's Not Fair, the dark fantasy Demon Hunter, and the final OVA series for the classic tennis anime Ace wo Nere. Each entry provides a brief synopsis, director, and cast information. The next page continues the Video Club section, presenting a range of new home video releases primarily focused on anime and other genres. Featured anime include the conclusion of the Aim for the Ace final OVA series, a collection of shorts based on Hisashi Eguchi's manga characters, the mecha action of Super Beast Machine God Den Cougar, and the dark fantasy Devilman Siren chapter. Other notable releases in the background video section cover Mobile Suit SD Gundam MK2, Volume 10 of New Captain Tsubasa, and City Hunter 2 Volume 10s. There's also a video dedicated to the arcade game Darius 2, showing gameplay footage. Military-themed videos like the Strategic Mobile Operations series and Top Dog are listed, alongside a Hulk Hogan special featuring wrestling matches. The TV and Other section highlights a video about the artist MC Escher, a Japanese TV drama compilation, a children's show character special, and a video featuring actress Ri Miyazawa in a fantasy story. The next page features a section titled Game Itai Hodai, which translates to Free Talk About Games, where readers share their opinions. The main discussion revolves around the Mega Drive version of Sorcerians. Readers offer varied feedback, with some praising the side-scrolling action and magic system, while others express disappointment compared to the PC original, citing issues with operability, difficulty of puzzles, and differences in the overall feel of the game. Comments also touch on the sound quality and character creation options. Below the reader feedback, the page includes fan art contributions. One panel titled Successor of Time depicts various characters in action. Another features art for the game Crackdown. The final panel is dedicated to the Shinobi series, showcasing Joe Musashi with humorous text commenting on his identity and cost. The next page features the Things I Want to Say to the Industry section, where readers air their views on various Mega Drive games and hardware. Continuing the discussion from the previous page, opinions on Sorcerian note that while PC veterans adapted easily, the puzzle elements, especially in Twin Islands, were challenging for newcomers. Other games reviewed include Micronet's Curse, praised for its multi-scroll backgrounds, graphics, and music, though some felt the bosses were too easy. Air Diver receives a more positive appraisal here than previously, with commendation for its speed and immersive first-person perspective, despite suggestions for more enemy variety and detailed graphics. Disappointment is expressed regarding Thunder Force 2 MD, particularly the large character sprites in the top-down view and issues with vertical scrolling. Hopes are high for Thunder Force 2i to recapture the difficulty of earlier installments. Readers also comment on the hardware, finding the directional pad on the standard Mega Drive controller difficult to use, and express anticipation for a rumored dedicated joystick, tentatively named the Power Stick. An interesting observation is made about Sega games sometimes being sold at surprisingly low prices, leading to nostalgic purchases of old classics like Hangin', and a desire to see more older games like Stage Jumper, Sinbad Mystery, and Elevator Action available on the Mega Drive. The page also showcases fan art, including illustrations inspired by the New Zealand story, Avant-Garde, a character portrait, and Afterburner, with a plea to the developers to make the next one perfect. This page features the Megadora user Bin Bin Talk section, filled with reader feedback on the Mega Drive ecosystem. Fans are vocal about wanting more Master System games ported, specifically mentioning classics like Darwin 4081 and SWAT, and also requesting arcade favorites such as Power Drift, Turbo Outrun, and Galahad. Opinions are shared on specific titles like Helios and the general state of horizontal scrolling shooters. Readers also share personal anecdotes, from starting university and immediately buying games like Fugotten Waltz, Sorcerian, Truxton, and The Revenge of Shinobi, to actively encouraging friends to get a Mega Drive. Some express their deep commitment, joking about cutting back on food expenses for games, or noting editors playing games during work hours. There's also discussion comparing the Mega Drive's sound capabilities to the Super Famicom, with hopes for better audio in future titles. The page is illustrated with fan art, including a notable request for Namco's Legend of Valkyrie to be released on the Mega Drive, and artwork related to games like Curse. A final section provides corrections for errors found in the previous month's issue. This page provides corrections for errors in the previous issue, including the price for Spirit Sorcerers, incorrectly listed should be 1,000 yen, and Truxton, incorrectly listed should be 6,000 yen. It also notes a missing color detail in a graph. The page then announces the winners of the Reader Present lottery from the February issue. Prizes tied to games like Heavy Unit, New Zealand Story, and Air Diver were given out, alongside special prizes like t-shirts and stickers related to titles such as the Godzilla comic. Several reader illustrations are featured, including a humorous depiction of various Sega boss characters asking if Lucifer from Shin Megami Tensei was the ultimate boss, fan art related to the Mega Drive's Batman game, and an illustration of a character from Ficteria. Finally, there is an invitation for readers to submit their contributions to various sections, including game feedback, general thoughts, and illustrations, encouraging submissions via postcard. This page features the serialized column Trip Mishaps by Kenji Iijima, focusing on his fourth journey to Karuizawa, titled Invasion from Space Less Than Part 1 Greater Than. The author details his creative process, particularly concerning his game Last Armageddon, which puts players in the role of monsters after human extinction battling invading aliens. He planned this trip to Karuizawa to gather inspiration for a potential sequel, tentatively titled Last Trial. However, his efforts to book a hotel room proved difficult, as he repeatedly encounters unavailability. The accompanying illustration depicts the author looking distraught outside a building labeled Valentine's House in Old Karuizawa, presumably reflecting his frustration with the reservation issues that seem to be hindering his creative retreat and the birth of the game idea. A small panel also promotes the RPG guide and mentions artist Keiichi Suzuki alongside an illustration of someone playing tennis. This page presents various news and announcements in the magazine's information section. It starts with a call to action, shaking off spring break drowsiness to share exciting updates. The first item details a large-scale Dragon Quest IV panel manga contest with a total prize pool of 970,000 yen for 300 winners. Entries featuring Dragon Quest characters could win prize money and potentially be published in Enix books. The deadline is April 30th, 1990. Next, Sharp is introducing new models for their X68000 computer line. The top-end Super HD is set for a June 1st release, featuring a built-in 80 MB hard disk. Two new series, Expert 2 and Pro 2, released April 15th, offer enhanced speed and features like the SX window system, maintaining compatibility with older models. Prices range from around 255,000 to 498,000 yen. There's also news about FMPnet, a PC communication service from FM Tokyo focused on music. It provides detailed information about songs and artists, as well as community features like music forums. Finally, the much-anticipated Neo Geo system is launching on April 26th. The system console will be available for 58,000 yen, and 6 game titles will release simultaneously at 28,000 yen each, including Nam 1975, Baseball Stars Professional, and Magician Lord. They highlight that renting games is a way to experience the system despite its high cost. To celebrate, SENK is holding a giveaway for 1,000 Neo Geo logo stickers. This page dives into the BeepMD Dataland, presenting the top-selling games for the Mega Drive and the most popular arcade titles. The Mega Drive software sales Best 5 chart shows Sorcery holding the top spot, a fantastic ARPG from Sega. Following closely are Air Diver, a cool shooter from Asmik, and Taito's quirky action game, New Zealand Story. While Sega's Mighty Golden Axe and the classic ninja action of The Revenge of Shinobi have dropped a bit in the rankings, they clearly remain favorites, having been huge hits since their late 1989 releases. The Revenge of Shinobi, in particular, is highlighted for its high-level action. Separately, the popular video game Best 5 lists current arcade cabinet favorites. Taito's Motorcycle Racer WGP takes number 1, followed by Sphinx Zombie Blast Beastbusters, Sega's Racing Sim Super Monaco GP, Namco's driving game-winning run Suzuka GP, and finally, the timeless puzzle classic, Tetris by Sega. Beastbusters is noted as a gun game perfect for tackling hordes of zombies and monsters. These rankings are compiled based on sales data from various collaborating stores, giving a clear picture of what players were enjoying at the time. Gameplay screenshots for each featured game are included, showcasing their graphics and style. This page dives into reader preferences for the future of the Mega Drive. It features a poll of the top 10 most anticipated new games, highlighting the titles players were most looking forward to. Phantasy Star IV. Generations of Doom overwhelmingly secured the top position, demonstrating high anticipation for the next entry in the popular RPG series. Thunder Force 2i and Super Monaco GP also ranked highly among the desired new releases. The page also includes a scheduled table listing upcoming Mega Drive software, with details on release dates, genres, developers, and pricing. Complementing the anticipation poll, there's a list of the top 10 games readers want ported to Mega Drive. The classic Konami shooter Gradius was the most requested port, while arcade hits like R-Type 2 and Final Fight tied for the second spot, showing a strong desire for popular arcade titles to make their way to the console. These polls were compiled from reader postcards, offering insight into the community's excitement and wish list. This page provides a roundup of news from various Mega Drive software developers and reports on recent events. Sega announced the release of Darwin 4081 and Phantasy Star IV, Generations of Doom, alongside a campaign for PS2i. Sigma Corporation released their first adventure game, Psyop Blade, a PC port, and plans an action game for July. Technosoft detailed Thunder Force 2i, highlighting its advanced graphics, sound, and stereo support, with a planned June release. Taito released the New Zealand story, and is preparing Master of Weapon and the Ninja Warriors, inviting fan requests. Hot B previewed the action game Kageki and the shooter in Sector X, expressing confidence in both. Asmik introduced their game designer, Nooms Suzuki, debuting on the Mega Drive, and mentioned Air Diver. The page also covers two events. Technosoft held a press conference for Thunder Force 2i's, showcasing all 8 stages and providing details on its development. The 90 Taito Fan Thanks Day in Makuhari brought together thousands of fans for quizzes, concerts, tournaments, and game news, notably including footage of Rastan Saga 2 under development for the Mega Drive. The page features photos from these events, showing players in a tournament, attendees, and figures on stage. This page presents the 5th installment of an Eisei fantasy novel titled To the Continuation of the Dream, written by Yoriichi Hara. The page is filled with the story's text, presented in vertical columns, featuring characters named Satoru and Mama. The narrative appears to delve into a dreamlike or simulated reality involving themes of biology, space, dinosaurs, stars, and planets. The illustration at the bottom depicts a swirling celestial body, possibly a planet. The story seems to explore a consciousness navigating through different environments and experiences within this simulated or dream state, with dialogue hinting at confusion and guidance from Mama. This fictional content is presented as a serial within the magazine. This page presents a lineup of past issues from Mega Drive, showcasing the magazine's coverage from the autumn 1989 special edition through the April 1990 issue. It highlights key features and game guides from each period. Featured games and topics included in-depth coverage and guides for titles like Afterburner 2, Phantasy Star II, The Revenge of Shinobi, Vermilion, and Sorcerian. The magazine also covered industry events like CES 90 and the AM Show, alongside recurring features such as the Mega Drive Academy Awards and passionate discussions about the console's impact. The autumn special issue notably included a guide for the strategy classic Herzog Zwei. These summaries demonstrate the magazine's focus on providing comprehensive content, from game guides to industry insights, for Mega Drive enthusiasts during this exciting era. This page is the first feature article, titled Thinking About Next-Generation Game Machines with Cutting-Edge Technology, written by Yasuhiko Shimazu. It poses the question, how will future game machines change with rapidly advancing high-tech? The article discusses the swift evolution of computer games, from arcade experiences with powerful sound and large displays, to home consoles that have progressed from 8-bit systems like the Famicom to 16-bit machines like the Mega Drive. Handheld gaming also saw significant leaps, with Game & Watch evolving into Game Boy. The piece argues that the history of game development is inherently linked to technological progress, driven by advancements such as high-speed CPUs, increased memory capacity, high-precision displays, and digital synthesizers. It concludes that games are rapidly heading in new directions due to these innovations, and sets out to explore how future games will be shaped and the foundational technologies behind them. This page delves into soft media CDI, presented as cutting-edge media for the borderless era, a direct follow-up to the previous discussion on how technology shapes future games. It highlights CDI as the next step beyond CD-ROM for interactive media, especially for home use. The key difference emphasized is Krady's World Unified Standard, ensuring compatibility, unlike varying CD-ROM formats across machines. CDI players, like the Yamaha model shown, function similarly to CD or Laserdisc players, making them accessible for families while offering PC-like capabilities. The media itself boasts a huge 600 megabyte capacity, vastly exceeding room cartridges. It supports diverse multimedia content, including various levels of still images, animation, and multiple sound modes beyond just CD audio. The page features images of the CDI player, discs, and a mouse/remote control setup, along with a demo screenshot showing audio samples. For gaming, CDI leans towards mouse and joystick input, making it ideal for genres like RPGs and adventure games. The text gives an example of interacting with a room environment by clicking objects. It notes the potential for using both computer graphics and real video footage. CDI is presented not just for games, but for wide-ranging applications like digital dictionaries and guides. Several major electronics companies are mentioned as showcasing CDI players, indicating strong industry interest in this new interactive format. This page explores two key areas: CDI software and the future of displays. It highlights Krady's potential beyond games, showcasing educational applications like Treasures of the Smithsonian and interactive titles like Sesame Street. Krady's strong search and random access capabilities make it ideal for digital encyclopedias, with game development actively underway. The text then shifts to Hi-Vision, a high-performance television system developed by NHK. This technology boasts a significantly higher resolution and a wider 16:9 aspect ratio, promising incredibly detailed graphics and a more immersive experience akin to a movie theater. The article predicts Hi-Vision's widespread adoption will lead to advanced game consoles and arcade games, delivering enhanced realism, a greater sense of presence, and clearer on-screen text, improving gaming experiences, especially for genres like RPGs. This page shifts focus from advanced visuals to the evolution of game audio, asking about the future of PCM sound. It shows images related to high-quality video production, likely tied to the previous page's Hi-Vision discussion, alongside photos of Yamaha's Sci-77 and Sci-22 synthesizers. The article explains that game sound sources are progressing from simple PSG and FM synthesis to more realistic PCM audio. Yamaha's new Sing-77 synthesizer is introduced as a significant development, featuring both advanced FM and AWM2 PCM sound engines combined through its unique RCM system, allowing for richer, more complex sounds than previous FM synthesizers like the famous DX7. A key point highlighted is the increasing importance of sound processing, such as reverb effects, which are integrated into synthesizers like the Synth-77. The text argues that just as improved visuals enhance presence, realistic sound processing, including the reproduction of acoustic spaces, is crucial for deeper immersion in games. This suggests a future direction where game audio goes beyond just playing sounds to actively shaping the perceived sound field for a more compelling experience. The article explores 3D imaging and holograms as the next frontier in game visuals, building upon previous discussions of sound technology. It contrasts current 3D methods using polarized or LCD shutter glasses with the more advanced concept of holograms, which capture both light intensity and phase information. The challenges of creating dynamic holographic images are noted, along with examples of current research in the field, like integrated CG holograms and transparent displays. The future of gaming, according to the piece, lies in technological advancements, including high-definition displays, realistic audio, and the potential for portable 3D projection. The article concludes that these advancements are inevitable, driven by the forces of technological progress and market competition. This page dives deep into the evolution system of Darwin 4081 for the Mega Drive. Following up from a previous look at the game, this article focuses on the core mechanic of evolution, which is key to mastering the game. The main feature is a detailed breakdown of the 12 normal evolution forms your ship can take. By collecting evol items dropped by specific enemies, Your ship progresses through these stages, changing its appearance and weapon capabilities. The page visually presents each of the 12 forms with a screenshot, numbered from 1 to 12, along with its name. Pister, Deus, Zwipt, Drime, Sulba, Ulbach, Dodak, Sweep, Shalu, Deem, Zugoga, and Gashalu, and a brief description of its weapons or characteristics. The text explains that the evolution starts from the Depasis form and progresses up to stage 12. It also notes that the difficulty in the game comes from the fact that as your ship evolves and gains more firepower, it can also become larger, making it easier to be hit by enemy fire. The article emphasizes that understanding these evolution forms is the key to becoming a skilled player. The next page delves deeper into the intricate evolution system of Darwin 4081. Moving beyond the standard forms discussed previously, it highlights sudden mutation, which occurs when you pick up a Bevol item. This isn't always predictable, leading to one of 4 possible combat forms: Pyrazal, ground attack focus; Pyrazes, air attack focus; Spider, fires stopping shots; or Snake, fires homing missiles. The article stresses that these mutations are situational and can be beneficial or detrimental. Next is super evolution, which goes beyond the initial 12 stages. Reaching the final normal evolution state, Gashalu, and collecting more evol triggers further transformations like Art Deem, Seize, and Maltos, offering wide area attacks but being time limited. Finally, reverse evolution introduces the powerful Black Deem. This state of near invincibility is achieved by avoiding damage while in the Art Deem form, a high-risk, high-reward strategy. The page also briefly touches on standard speed and armor items, noting that too much speed can make the ship difficult to handle. This system adds significant strategic depth, making item collection a crucial part of gameplay. This guide details the early stages of Darwin 4081 on the Sega Genesis. Crucial battle tips involve collecting dana for ship evolution and avoiding ground-based anti-aircraft fire. Stage 1 features basic enemies, including some hidden and ground holes, dropping evol items needed for standard evolution, and culminates in a worm boss with a 3-way shot attack. Stage 2 increases enemy intensity, with dangerous red anti-aircraft guns that can make you lose items. The Stage 2 boss, resembling a Japanese hero, attacks with multiple units and a ramming attack. The guide advises close-range shooting of armored enemies for item acquisition and cautious use of speed-up items. Quote. The next page dives into Stages 3, 4, and 5 of Darwin 4081 on the Sega Genesis. Stage 3 features a vibrant geometric environment, where controlling the air is crucial, but ground attacks are the focus. Small anti-aircraft vehicles perform dangerous bombing runs, while larger, camouflaged ground units attack you level with them. Enemies are becoming more unique and powerful, often using combination attacks. The boss resembles an alarm clock that changes its attack patterns as you hit it, with hitting 777 rewarding you with an evol item. Stage 4 takes you through a peculiar transition from desert to future city. Combat is fierce, particularly in the low-visibility desert zones. Ground anti-aircraft remains a threat. New enemies include strange red creatures and, worryingly, invincible beetle larvae that emerge from the sand alongside a creature that spews them. The boss is a flying pyramid in the desert that has no direct attack, but is defended by these tough beetle larvae. Stage 5 presents complex structures. You encounter dangerous trains that block the screen, best avoided by slipping past them. Enemies wielding evols and attacking with octopus-like movements pose a challenge, especially when trying to grab items nearby. The boss in Stage 5 has 2 forms. One fires tricky reflecting shots, the other fires upward projectiles. You must defeat one type quickly to avoid a punishing double assault. This page kicks off Part 3 of the New Work Complete Master Series, focusing on hot new titles. Featured here is Blade, a popular adventure game making the jump from PC to the Sega Genesis. Scheduled for release on April 27th by Sigma Shoji for 8,500 yen, the article highlights its status as a masterpiece and draws attention to its realistic and beautiful graphics. The main premise involves 8 crew members challenging the mystery of a drifting spaceship. Accompanying screenshots and artwork hint at themes like fear, combat, unease, romance, and anger that the game will explore. A brief prologue sets the stage in 2030 with a world divided, while the main story summary outlines a rescue mission in 2065 involving a lost space probe and a mysterious computer, suggesting a complex plot with military and political intrigue. This page delves deeper into the gameplay mechanics and characters of Xioblade. It highlights the innovative interface, which features an AI point cursor and a multi-window command system, allowing players to investigate nearly every detail on screen and interact with characters through multiple dialogue options. The multi-window setup is a key feature, appearing in significant story moments and presenting various commands like talk, move, and even a curious throw option alongside accessing computer systems. The article also touches upon the game's options, showcasing a list of available commands, a unique opening sequence different from the prologue, and extensive music options with over 20 background tracks and sound effects. It notes the inclusion of powerful anime-style graphics during event scenes, and mentions that a shooting game is also part of the package. Finally, the page introduces the 8 members of the crew heading for the Septimius II exploration mission, featuring their portraits and brief descriptions for 7 of them. These include the protagonist pilot Keith, the calm Captain Robert, the beautiful information analyst Fennin, the renowned Dr. Jimmy, the genius computer technician Sophia, the effective chemist Mark, and the complaining pilot Michael, giving players a glimpse into the personalities they'll encounter. This page continues our exploration of the Mega Drive title, Xioblade. It guides players through the initial crisis aboard the Septimius II, a ship-wide power outage that traps the crew in the cockpit. The immediate goal is to restore power, which involves interacting with the environment and characters like Robert and Mark through the ship's computer systems. The guide then moves to investigating the escape hangar and the shuttle within it. Despite its seemingly outdated appearance, the shuttle is highlighted as potentially having useful functions. Due to a broken door, players must venture into outer space via the airlock to access the storehouse. The storehouse is described as a large, cluttered area where the crucial task is to meticulously search for small, necessary parts. Finding these items is challenging, but essential for progression. The page also provides a visual layout of the Septimius II, showcasing the various accessible rooms like the cockpit, airlock, computer room, living quarters, medical bay, and others, giving players a clear overview of the ship's structure. This page continues the Xioblade journey, picking up after the initial crisis. It details an accident in outer space involving the Verniers, where the characters Keys and Sophia are adrift before finding a mysterious file called Sigma Project within a crack in the hull. Next, it describes returning to the cockpit, where interacting with Bob helps repair the ship, leading to a significant event upon activating a switch. The narrative then shifts to the computer room, where the crew discovers Feminine collapsed and injured, while Mark is missing. Talking to Robert reveals the need to find Mark, suggesting a new phase of the investigation has begun. Finally, a section provides a glossary of 22 ND century technical terms like AI, neurocomputer, Xioblade, sublight speedflight, and cold sleep, intended to help players better understand the game's sci-fi setting. This page kicks off a shocking new development in Xioblade. A murder has occurred on the ship, and Mark is the victim, found gruesomely deceased in Living Room 1. The crew, including Keys and Sophia, immediately recognize the gravity of the situation, especially given the strength required for the act. Clues, such as what appears to be skin found under Mark's fingernails, point towards the culprit possessing superhuman strength, likely the same entity that injured Feminine. With no time to spare, Robert decides the priority is a full, meticulous search of the ship to corner the killer. The investigation covers several key areas, including the living rooms, material room, experiment room, computer room, waiting room, and medical room. The page details events and findings in each location, such as discovering mysterious data disks, an incomplete weapon, and a sabotaged cold sleep system, crucial for interstellar travel. The text stresses the importance of thoroughly examining every point of interest and revisiting locations as new information comes to light, as overlooking even a single clue can prevent progress in this dangerous new phase of the mission. This page reveals the culprit of the murder, Arthur, who is described as having monstrous strength. Keys and Sophia encounter him near the cockpit after investigating Feminine's rescue pod. Arthur blocks their path and is impervious to handgun fire, forcing a frantic escape. The text follows their flight through various parts of the ship, including the computer room and experiment room, where a new throw command becomes available, allowing them to use environmental objects. They attempt to use the shuttle's arm to defeat Arthur, which seems to work, but the arm is broken in the process. With Arthur dealt with for now, the page highlights that mysteries continue to mount, and the crew faces a dire time limit of 1200 seconds until the solar system is annihilated. This page introduces the upcoming Sega Mega Drive title, Whip Rush, a new vertical and horizontal force-scrolling shooting game set for release on May 26th at 6,000 yen. It's hyped as the #1 shooting game and is even compared to the legendary Sword type, boasting abundant power-up items. The content is presented through a lively dialogue featuring cartoon mascots or characters, celebrating the game's release and introducing a self-proclaimed master of Whip Rush who will share strategies. Screenshots show the game's spaceship and environments, including an opening demo scene depicting a calamity approaching Earth. The conversation also includes commentary about the game turning into otaku material. This page is a deep dive into the power-up system of Whip Rush. Following up on the game's introduction from the previous page, the magazine's characters continue their conversation, guiding players through the game's weaponry. It details the 4 distinct power-up types: the versatile Power Claw, the forward-firing laser, the multi-directional missile, and the tricky fireball. A Power Claw is particularly highlighted for its unique ability to be launched like a yo-yo, with a simple 2-button press, a powerful attack capable of clearing nearby enemies. The page provides strategic advice on how to acquire and combine items, suggesting practicing with the easier-to-handle missile first, and noting that a setup of 3 missiles and 2 Power Claws is highly effective. Understanding the strengths of each weapon and choosing the right one for the situation is presented as crucial for clearing the game's challenging stages. This page provides a strategic guide for Stage 1 of the game Whip Rush. It highlights that Stage 1 is primarily a vertical scrolling level filled with obstacles and serves as a good place to master the basic controls and weapon usage. The guide emphasizes the importance of the Power Claw weapon, suggesting it's particularly useful for attacking enemies below in the vertical sections. It also points out specific hazards and tactics. In one area, there's a narrow safe zone between upper and lower lasers, where staying precisely in the center avoids damage, though this requires practice. Floating mines appear during descents and should be destroyed immediately, as they can surround and trap the player. The optimal path through parts of the stage is often the center, as the edges can expose the player to off-screen enemies. A specific warning is given about an iron tower hazard. Attempting to maneuver behind certain enemies on the left can lead to a collision with a tower rising from below. It's better to wait until the tower is visible before moving. Finally, the guide offers advice for the Stage 1 boss. Keep firing constantly, targeting the vulnerable nose area. Direct hits with the Power Claw are very effective against the boss. This page guides you through Stage 2 of Whip Rush, a wild jungle environment where the action heats up. First, you'll encounter the returning boomerang guy. Be cautious, as his boomerang circles back after you hit his main body. Striking too early is a mistake. Next, the photon units unleash a sandwich attack. They drop bombs that create powerful water spouts, demanding your attention both above and below simultaneously. Navigating the barriers deployed by Digley requires precision. 4 aligned barriers that spread apart create a narrow passage you must expertly slip through in the center. Stage 1's foe, Bacchus, also reappears here, often attacking from behind. The Power Claw is effective against him, but missiles are highly recommended, making the fight much easier compared to other weapons like fire. The stage culminates in a confrontation with the boss, Act Fender. This machine defends itself with moving laser barriers. Your target is the vulnerable gun port located in its center. The boss has substantial health, so continuously attacking the weak point is key. While the Power Claw works well, having missiles significantly eases this fight, allowing you to focus on dodging the lasers. A small illustration on the page adds a touch of humor, depicting characters surprised by something that reminds them of Tokyo Tower. This page delves into Stages 3 and 4 of Whip Rush, showcasing the game's evolving challenges and tough bosses. Stage 3 features a dynamic change in scrolling direction, moving right, then up, then left, and finally back right. The vertical scrolling sections introduce walk enemies that appear from above. The left scrolling segment requires you to attack enemies pursuing from behind, making backward weapons like the Power Claw missile essential for survival. This stage also includes notoriously difficult narrow passages that demand precise movement, often requiring you to wait for openings in the walls. The boss of Stage 3 is the Defend Core, which launches large funnels from its sides, top, and bottom. The weak point is the core body revealed after you destroy a funnel. Beware of the tentacles that also extend to attack. Positioning is key, as being able to attack from both left and right significantly helps. Stage 4 takes you into the enemy base, starting with an asteroid field containing power-up items. A difficult narrow passage follows, filled with enemies. You'll encounter large robot enemies firing wave cannons, and formations of inverarity enemies. The Stage 4 boss is Vanguard, which attacks by launching its outer shell when its central timer flashes 4 times. The core is exposed after the shell is damaged enough, around 30 hits. This final form has a long tail and 2 faces that spit fire. The weak points are these faces, requiring focused fire to defeat the boss quickly. This page provides a detailed enemy character list covering stages 1 through 4 of Whip Rush. The guide highlights the characteristics of various foes to help players make informed decisions and strategies for overcoming them. It presents a wide array of enemies, including standard ships like the Java and Dommel, stationary turrets such as the small turret and rapid-fire turret, and unique challenges like the Bacchus, a slow-moving mine-like enemy, or the Digley, an aquatic enemy that deploys a protective barrier. The guide also touches upon mini-bosses and tougher enemies encountered early on, detailing their attack patterns, movement, and HP, such as the Sand Itchman, Stage 1 boss, with its twin lasers, or the ore stone that fragments upon destruction. This list is an essential resource for players looking to understand and effectively counter the threats faced in the initial stages of Whip Rush. This page checks out hot video games, featuring strategy guides for 3 titles, with a major focus on Capcom's Mercs, known as Senjo no 2 in Japan. The article praises the game's atmosphere, comparing it to war movies with its realistic, uncut depiction of battlefield scenes. A key highlight is the confirmation of simultaneous 3-player gameplay, which leads to more intense and engaging combat scenarios compared to single-player. The guide notes that the powerful Mega Crash item is particularly effective when playing with friends. The game's objective is the rescue of the kidnapped president. Players can choose from 3 distinct characters: Joseph Gibson, Howard Powell, and Thomas Clark, each with a brief background story. They are part of the elite Wolf Force, dispatched to handle a military coup. The page also details the abundant item system, noting that items are large and easy to pick up. It showcases various power-ups, including different weapons like the assault rifle, shotgun, grenade launcher, and the recommended flamethrower, along with defensive items like the Mega Crash and First Aid Kit, and score-boosting items. Finally, the article discusses the ability to commandeer vehicles, which adds another layer to the gameplay. It displays several examples such as a jeep with a rocket launcher, a tank, a hovercraft, and an elevator trolley, encouraging players to utilize them when available. Other games mentioned on the page include Rodland, Battleshark, and Columns, among others. This page continues the strategy guide for Mercs, breaking down the early missions of the game. Mission 1 focuses on the beach landing, where you disembark from a helicopter and immediately face numerous enemies. The guide points out a trick. Shooting a specific palm tree clears the path forward when you reach a dead end. The boss for this mission is a vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. Mission 2 is set in a war-torn city reminiscent of the movie The Bridge at Remagen. You fight through the ruins with minimal obstacles but poor visibility due to curves. A key tip here is utilizing jeeps that appear, defeat the driver, and take control to blast through enemies. The mission culminates in a fight against a tank battalion. Mission 3 involves infiltrating a large battleship. The guide highlights the intense enemy presence on the bridge leading to the ship, suggesting cautions. Inside the ship, you'll encounter heavy machine guns and armored vehicles, indicating you're close to the end. The boss for this mission is a large helicopter, which the guide notes is quite tough, but can be defeated quickly with a Mega Crash. Finally, Mission 4 shifts to combat on water, featuring hovercraft. The guide mentions the lack of obstacles, but warns it's still challenging. The gameplay shown indicates fighting on a turbulent sea surface. This page dives into the charming world of Rodland, a pastel-colored puzzle game by Jaleco. It's described as a game enjoyable even for girls, featuring fairy tale-like visuals. The main goal is to reach the top floor of the tower to rescue the mother. The game boasts surprisingly cute boss characters across 71 stages, including 35 stages in Chapter 1 and 35 in Chapter 2, plus a final boss. While adorable, these bosses are noted as being quite challenging. Difficulty varies depending on your playstyle. You can simply defeat enemies to clear stages, or aim for higher scores by collecting extra items. Gameplay involves using a magical rod to stun enemies and then defeat them. A key mechanic is the ladder, used to reach flowers or escape foes, though you can only place one at a time, requiring strategic thinking. Item attacks like Bomb, Rocket, Hyper, and Revival can appear, with Bomb and Hyper being recommended for their effectiveness. The game also supports a fun two-player mode, where cooperation or competition for items adds another layer of strategy. There's a large cast of enemies, 14 types of common ones shown here, all distinctively cute but ready to attack. The VG Club section highlights 3 arcade games. Battle Shark, a submarine combat game by Taito, offers realistic gameplay where players use torpedoes to destroy enemy ships and infiltrate a base. Adventure Quiz 2, Hate Seina no Dai Bukken from Capcom, is a unique adventure quiz game with 7 stages and 20 genres of questions, featuring challenging boss battles where genre selection can aid players. The section also touches on the arcade industry, noting a trend towards increased difficulty due to feedback from hardcore players during location tests, but also a potential shift towards more accessible games for a broader audience. This page is dedicated to the classic puzzle game columns, released by Sega in 1990. It's presented as a gem-matching game with historical roots in Phoenician culture. The guide covers the essential mechanics and techniques needed to excel. The basics explain how players can rotate the order of the 3 falling gems and move them left or right. It also details the game modes available: easy, medium, hard, and time, each offering different starting points and difficulty levels, catering to both beginners and experts. Advanced techniques focus on maximizing scores. While matching 3 identical gems in a line, vertical, horizontal, or diagonal, is fundamental, the guide highlights matching 4 or 5 simultaneously and forming W shapes for higher points. Crucially, it introduces the concept of chain reactions, where falling gems automatically trigger subsequent matches, leading to satisfying large clears and significant score boosts. A special element discussed is the magic jewel. When this rare gem is matched, it clears all gems of the same color it touches on the board. The guide provides insight into its appearance pattern, suggesting players track cleared gems to anticipate its arrival and strategically plan which color to eliminate to escape difficult situations or set up large clears. The illustration at the bottom appears to be the game's ending artwork. This page from the VG Club section continues the look at the puzzle game columns, offering tips for experts. It delves into the hard mode, explaining how gem speed and points per cleared gem increase with level. It also details scoring mechanics beyond simple matches, highlighting bonuses for matching 4 or 5 gems and significant score boosts from chain reactions, even providing tables showing the multiplier for different chain lengths. A note from the developers touches on the game's distinct rock sound and the choice of a gem theme to appeal to a broader audience amidst action games, hinting at evolving arcade trends. The page also introduces 3 new Sega arcade titles from 1990. First, Racing Hero, a motorcycle racer challenging players on international circuits and public roads with rival cars and a thrilling sense of speed. Next is Rough Racer, a quirky top-down racer featuring multiple cars and obstacles, encouraging players to find shortcuts by crashing through walls for a wild, outdoor-feeling race. Finally, Glock, a cockpit-style flight combat game in the vein of Afterburner, offering time-limited missions and stage progression based on enemy takedowns. It boasts a realistic display and offers 3 difficulty courses catering to all skill levels, with a more detailed preview promised for the next issue. This page continues the Mega Drive Trick League series, offering tips for players aiming to master the console. It features 3 games: Sorcerian, Cassis, and Vermilion. For Sorcerians, the focus is on finding hidden items. By defeating bosses and visiting specific locations in scenarios like the Grey Dungeon, players can obtain items such as Ring Mail and the Ring of Protection. The Disciple of the Magician scenario holds the Rod of Flame in the data room, allowing the use of the fire spell. The Calamize section presents a strategy for achieving a 100 million point score. The tip involves obtaining the wide beam weapon, holding down the B button, and positioning your ship in a safe spot shown in the screenshot to accumulate points without being hit or destroying enemies. Lastly, the Vermilion tip details a method for boosting your character's strength and armor class significantly. This involves equipping cursed items like the Cursed Sword or Old Nick armor, then using a Church or Raphael's Rod to remove the curse. Repeating this process, although stats may initially drop, can eventually push both STR and AC stats beyond 9,000. An illustration humorously depicts the heavy burden of carrying items.
The page also features a golden statue mascot, the league's commissioner, introducing the tips.
This page continues the Mega Drive Trick League, focusing on tips for Vermilion and Mahjong Cop Ryu. For Vermilion, 3 tricks are presented. One allows full HP recovery by examining a specific spot in the town of Klut. Another reveals how to find the Uranos leaf in the forest of Rafros, boosting your luck stat. However, a third tip warns against excessive use of a trick in the Lagel Inn. Talking to a woman and answering yes repeatedly halves your HP, ultimately leading to death and being reset to level 1. Screenshots illustrate these locations and effects.
The Mahjong Cop Ryu section details 2 secrets. The first explains a hidden punch command that appears after defeating the boss Sanba Tetsuo and confronting his shadow, Jakureishi, allowing you to physically assault the characters. The second tip shows how to access the game's sound test by holding the A button while pressing start on the title screen, revealing 34 different sounds. Screenshots demonstrate the combat sequence and the sound test menu. Finally, the page outlines how readers can participate in the Mega Drive Trick League. Players are encouraged to submit their own game secrets via postcard, detailing the game name and trick, along with their personal information. Winning submissions receive prizes ranging from book certificates to game software for the top contributors chosen for the annual Best 9. The submission address and a sample postcard layout are provided. The next page begins a new series called Mega Drive Masterclass, and this first volume tackles a notorious sticking point in the Sorcerian scenario, Twin Islands. Many players struggle with the puzzle involving a magical coral and the fairy's harp. The page explains how to make the coral produce sound if it doesn't, and, crucially, how to fix it if you played the melody incorrectly and broke it. The solution involves finding a hidden path in the cave, burning an obstruction with the flint item, and obtaining an Oni Hitode, Crown of Thorns starfish. If the coral is broken, placing the starfish on it causes it to eat the end, shortening it and changing its pitch, effectively fixing it. Once the coral is functioning, you must play the notes in the correct sequence using both the coral and the fairy's harp. The coral notes follow a musical scale, while the harp has a specific sequence. The guide warns against playing the wrong melody, which breaks the coral, necessitating the repair steps. 10 accompanying screenshots illustrate the pathfinding, obtaining the starfish, and the process of the starfish fixing the coral. The series invites readers to submit their own difficult game challenges for future installments. This page introduces a special feature titled, For Game Enthusiasts, Hardcore Health Goods Special Feature, subtitled, Thinking About the Player's Own Health Conditions. It's presented as part of the Let's Try with Chan Don Volume 7 series. The dramatic vertical text on the left challenges the reader. Can you fight for 24 hours? The page features an image of a dedicated, perhaps overly intense, gamer equipped with a Sega Mega Drive controller, a military-style helmet, glasses, and surrounded by various snacks and energy boosters like Calorie Mate and energy drinks, highlighting the grueling nature of extended play sessions. The text explains that while games feature character stats like HP and MP to track status, many players neglect their own physical parameters. It argues that persistence and effort are key to clearing games, often more so than raw skill, something players may not realize. Therefore, this feature focuses on health goods that are relevant to gamers. The bottom of the page reinforces this, with a mock-up game status screen showing character stats and menu options related to health and rest, drawing a direct parallel between in-game character well-being and the player's own. This page continues the discussion on gamer health, declaring that physical strength is capital, and calling out unhealthy couch gamers, urging them to aim for a healthier lifestyle. It highlights the need for players, often engrossed in extended gaming sessions, to pay attention to their own physical stats, just like they do in RPGs. The page presents 2 categories of health-focused items relevant to gamers. The first, functional drink and candy, features products designed to aid digestion and supplement key nutrients like protein, vitamins, and minerals, such as iron and calcium. Examples include candies like Iron Bone Candy and Acerola Candy, and drinks like Fibamini and PF21, noted for being affordable and accessible. The second category, balanced nutrition food, emphasizes the importance of consuming the 5 essential nutrients. Products like Calorie Mate are presented as convenient balanced foods, available in various forms like blocks and drinks,
ideal for players who might neglect regular meals due to intense gaming. These items are positioned not as medicine, but as foods that support daily life and maintain health for those with irregular eating habits. This page dives deeper into the importance of maintaining physical and mental health for gamers, framing refreshing oneself as essential for achieving good performance. It argues that intense concentration, while necessary, puts a strain on the body and mind, leading to issues like eye strain, stiff shoulders, numb fingers, and disturbed sleep patterns. The article suggests that refreshing isn't just about stepping away entirely, but can also be done in small ways, even during gameplay, like stretching during breaks or using items to aid concentration and relaxation. The page highlights specific goods to help gamers stay refreshed. Check 3. Smokeless pipe, described as aiding concentration, relaxation, and waking up, useful when frustrated with difficult games. Check 4. Sleep prevention goods, features items like prism glasses for viewing monitors while lying down, and caffeine supplements, presented as tools for intense gaming sessions. Check 5. Massage goods, includes items like magnetic patches, grip strengtheners, and massage balls for dealing with stiffness in the shoulders and hands. The author relates these points to their own struggles, acknowledging that gamers, including themselves, can fall into unhealthy habits by getting too absorbed. This article is presented as a self-challenge to encourage healthier practices among gamers, including themselves, emphasizing that while sometimes gaming might seem unhealthy, balancing it with self-care is key. This page features a section called Bargain One Match Game, where games are reviewed on a 10-step evaluation system. The page highlights Darwin 4081, a shooting game port from Data East, released on April 7th for 6,000 yen. The reviewer notes it's a port of a masterpiece where your character evolves, finding it refreshing for those seeking an alternative to typical shooters, despite its lack of speed. It receives ratings of 7 and 6. Individual reviewers share their thoughts. Sid Kumakura found Dragon Quest enjoyable but potentially too simple for veterans. He also mentions using a computer for work that can play games like Sim City and Rogue. OLX Koji comments on Darwin 4081, finding it oddly addictive despite simple sounds and enemies, rating it a 6. Kaizu Ningen no Jam Oji-san recommends Asmix Air Diver as a good recent purchase, calling it fun and rating it a 7. He contrasts this with a PC Engine game he finished too quickly. He reflects on a Genesis port of a past arcade hit with accurate porting and nostalgic CD sound, rating it a 7. This section provides varied opinions and ratings on recently played games. This page continues a review section covering upcoming Mega Drive releases. Featured games include Phantasy Star II, an RPG released April 21st, Blade, an adventure game released April 27th, and DJ Boy, an action game released in early May. Screenshots show the overhead world map view for Phantasy Star II, a first-person perspective for Blade, and a side-scrolling combat scene for DJ Boy. Phantasy Star II is noted for its grand story and multiple endings, described as a decent RPG, though some aspects felt different from previous entries. It garnered scores ranging from 5 to 8. Blade is presented as an excellent adventure game, with a unique feel, praised for its smooth presentation and intriguing events, receiving high scores between 7 and 9. DJ Boy, an arcade port, is seen as a competent action game but somewhat simple in content, recommended mainly for genre fans, with scores from 6 to 8. Viewers commented on the higher price point of the RPG and adventure titles. They suggest Phantasy Star II is essential for Sega fans, and Blade offers a sophisticated experience, while DJ Boy caters to action lovers. The variety of genres this month means there are options for many players. This page features a manga titled Centuries End Pachimon Hero Legend Megadoraman X, specifically Episode 5, The Strongest Invasion in History, Part 2. The vertical text on the left proclaims, Sega annihilated. Is there a tomorrow for Megadoraman? The story depicts the aftermath of an attack by the Stallone alien, which has devastated Sega. Characters express distress and responsibility, with Commander Ida embarking on a solitary journey. 2 weeks later, the Stallone alien makes a public appearance, announcing that unless Megadoraman is sacrificed the following morning, Earth will be destroyed. The page sets up a dramatic cliffhanger, questioning the hero's ability to save the world and Sega.
The next page reveals that morning has arrived, and the supporting hero is dismayed that Megadoraman 9X hasn't shown up. The Stallone alien, ready to make good on his threat, prepares to smash the earth with his pickaxe. However, the ground begins to shake as a heavy, crying figure arrives, declaring himself to be Lord Megadoraman 9X. He explains his new physique is due to 2 weeks spent indulging in hot springs and food. The Stallone alien, angered by this sight, attacks. But despite the apparent difference in Megadoraman's movements, the hero defeats the alien with a surprising, flying body press. Earth is saved, and the page concludes with a human character acknowledging Megadoraman's help, while the hero considers dieting. A powerful new captain is teased for the next installment. This page showcases a fantastic prize giveaway for readers. The top prizes include a portable Sony Discman CD player and a specialized XE1AP analog joystick, designed for the arcade classic Afterburner 2. Subscribers also had a chance to win some great Mega Drive titles, specifically Phantasy Star II, Darwin 4081, and the energetic brawler DJ Boy. Beyond the games, there's merchandise from the game Psycho Blade, such as panel speakers, calculators, and phone cards. Other diverse prizes offered are movie tickets, a badge, a phone card featuring the Technosoft group Girls Club, and a Technosoft game music CD collection called Excursion. Readers could enter by completing a survey postcard. This is a sweet lineup of goodies for any fan. This page presents the final opportunity to enter the magazine's prize giveaway, focusing specifically on Sega Mark II software and other items this time. Among the prizes are classic Mark II titles like Afterburner, Fantasy Zone 2, Opa Opa, Great Golf, Tri-Formation, Rocky, Sukeban Deca 2, Lord of Sword, and Outrun, with varying numbers of winners for each. A set of Dragon Quest novels is also offered. The information section welcomes readers to the first issue, notes the positive reception, and announces the next issue's release date. It provides a telephone number for reader questions about the magazine content during specific hours. The magazine is also recruiting writers and editors interested in Mega Drive games and general topics. A detailed guide is included on how to fill out the survey postcard, which serves as the entry method. The survey asks readers about their gender, age, occupation, gaming habits, magazines they read, listing many popular titles, how they found the magazine, previous purchases of the company's publications, feedback and requests for the magazine, like frequency and price, games they plan to buy, games they want ported, and their best or worst Mega Drive game. Finally, the page lists the complete editorial and production staff involved in creating the magazine, from the editor-in-chief, through layout, photography, illustration, and printing. This page features a captivating illustration of a futuristic vehicle, likely hinting at a space shooter or racing game. Large red text prominently displays "Coming," accompanied by vertical Japanese text that translates to "The wind of emotion is coming again." The Mega Drive logo is visible in the corner, clearly indicating this is a teaser for an upcoming game on the platform. It's a classic coming soon announcement designed to pique interest in an anticipated title. This page prominently features the highly anticipated SHMUP, Thunder Force 2i, developed by Technosoft for the Sega Mega Drive. It announces, the game is scheduled for release on June 8th, priced at 6,800 yen. Visuals include the striking blue and white Thunder Force 2i logo and 2 action-packed screenshots showcasing intense gameplay. One screenshot depicts a boss encounter with the menacing Gorgon in a jungle environment, while the other shows the player ship navigating a chaotic lava level filled with reaching hands, another part of the Gorgon stage. The large, "Soon" text reinforces the imminent release. A notable detail is the mention that Kaoru from Technosoft's Gals Club provides voice work for the game, adding a unique element. This page prominently features Darwin 4081, announced as an urgent release. The main draw highlighted is the game's unique mechanic where the machine, the shot, evolve into super mechanics. This is described as an exhilarating power-up shooter, utilizing the Evol system to transform your ship and weapons as you battle the Evol army on the hostile planet Alpha. The page also previews several other large upcoming software releases, including Ghostbusters, Mobile Police Patlabor, DJ Boy, and Whiplash. Additionally, there's a mention of a promotion supporting the Ultra Q movie release and an image of one of the characters. Finally, the page showcases the powerful 16-bit Mega Drive hardware itself,